If you feel like you're drowning, behind, or missing something, I've got good news. You're not broken, sis. You're just burnt out. As high-performing women, we're navigating high risks, high-stress social situations, and high-pressure roles. Today, in this video, I am going to be sharing some of those stressors with you. We'll be talking about them, but I'm also going to give you some tips and tricks that I've developed using my BU method to help you fix them. Let's go ahead and get started. One of the biggest things that's often talked about, but never really addressed the way I think it should be addressed, is this idea of your work colliding with your life. Now, in some instances, you've heard it be talked about like work-life balance. Well, I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life harmony. Obviously, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a sister, as an aunt, newly so, thank you very much. My goal is to be there for my family, and I will always prioritize them. So for me, balancing work with my life is just not something that is ever going to happen. Robert Owens in the early 1800s. And what he was basically talking about here was the idea that you have 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, and 8 hours of leisure time or recreational time. Well, our lives don't look like that anymore. The lines are blurred between work and life, and it's really becoming increasingly difficult to balance the two. In order for there to be harmony here, though, you do need to understand the vision that you have for yourself, where you see yourself going, what you think you want to do, and what your goals are and the plan to get you there. It's important for you to assess your strengths and understand where you can apply them to get you further into your goals and get you closer to the dream life that you want. But in order for you to assess those strengths, you have to do some introspective work here, right? You need to do the things necessary to uncover your strengths. And it'll also help you to identify your limitations here and really hone in on what it is you really, really want for yourself. Once you've done that, you can create a game plan where you can maximize your strengths. You can use those strengths to get you where you want to be. You can operate within them and create what I call a personal operating system. This personal operating system is going to help you make the best decisions. It's going to help you be more intentional, and it's going to help you be more discerning as well. I just did a Substack on this, so I will link it down below because it talks about the difference, or it talks about decisions versus discernment. And I think it will go a long way in helping you understand my point here. Once you've created your personal operating system and done the work to uncover your strengths, limitations, and what you really want out of life, the next thing you need to do is create your method to measure your efforts, because you need to know what is working, what isn't working, so that you can manage expectations, you can set those appropriate boundaries, and you can teach people how to treat you. And I've said it before, you can't teach people how to treat you without holding them accountable for what they learn. The next stressor that is probably causing you burnout is isolation. Now, the queen bee effect is not just for Beyonce fans, okay? The queen bee effect is also applicable to those of you who are setting yourselves apart and you are high performing and you find yourself above the fray. When we show up as bosses, we are rewarded with all kinds of accolades for being the expert in the room. But that doesn't discount the fact that we are sometimes feeling a bit lonely, because you know what they say, it's lonely at the top. You are so responsible for so many things, and in order to stay there, you have to maintain that level of function, and it can be lonely. Research shows that you can be a high-performing woman, you can have an active social life, you can be known as maybe the life of the party, but still feel lonely. Let's face it, as high-performing, ambitious women, we're rewarded, quite frankly, when we don't allow our emotions to get the best of us. A few years ago, I was working with a client, and she happened to be a good friend of mine, and we were having a conversation, and it was like a girlfriend chat. And I said something like, you know what? I don't know why I don't get, certain invitations, or people treat me a certain kind of way when I'm just trying to be a girlfriend or whatever. And she said, well, Andrea, you're different. She said, you carry yourself a different way. You present yourself a different way. The way you speak is different from the way some other people speak. And it's quite honestly, people are intimidated in some ways. And that made me feel very isolated because I don't see myself that way. I see myself as a girl's girl. And so it really did hit me that, maybe that's why I feel isolated sometimes. So one of those bigger stressors, one of the things that could be causing burnout is that you are the boss and you are doing boss-like things, but it can feel quite isolating. If you want to combat this feeling of isolation, the first thing I'll suggest you do is find your tribe. Now, your tribe is going to be that group of individuals who are like-minded. Maybe they're bosses like you. And this is a perfect group to encourage you, to help sharpen your mind, to help you think through various issues that you may be having in your business or in your professional life. These are people who are your professional gang, right? They are the ones that are going to motivate you to do better in your business and to help you thrive in your thinking, help you become a better version of your professional self. The next group that I would tell you to consider having is, really expounding your inner circle. Now, these are your ride or dies. These are the people that are going to provide you with that emotional support. These are the people that are going to get deep with you. They're going to be the ones that are praying for you, the ones that are rooting you on the sidelines, the ones that are hugging you when you need it and giving you a good, swift kick in the butt when that is necessary as well. And then lastly, it's important for you to have a mentor. My husband is amazing at this, and I have been telling him to write a book for years. Early on in his career, he was able to get a mentor, a gentleman who helped to mold and shape his mindset when it came to building his career. Later on, this same mentor reached out to him about a job and moved him up in his career. My husband has been an excellent resource for others and a mentor for others, but the way he uses his mentorships and the people who mentor him is just nothing short of amazing. He's been laid off a few times, and each time, with the exception of the first time I think it was, people had reached out to him, as former mentors had reached out to him. He had a job on Monday when he had been laid off on Friday, and he just never missed a beat because of his ability to foster those types of relationships and really gain the knowledge that he needed so that he could thrive in his career. So developing a mentor or finding those mentor type relationships are going to give you the space you need to grow and learn and be the best version of yourself. All right, let's move on to our final stressor that is causing you burnout. Now, the final stressor that I'm going to talk about today that could be causing you burnout is bias. Now, what is bias, you ask? Well, it's basically a prejudice, whether for or against, like or dislike, negative or positive, is basically a prejudice. Now, honest feedback and not shying away from hard conversations are of the highest importance, right, to high-performing women. We thrive on constructive criticism because it helps us grow. It helps us to perform even better. But that feedback that's unfair and has a bias, not so much. We don't really care for that, right? Right. We don't really care for that. Based on research on workplace bias, it shows that organizations' highest performing individuals are also getting the least amount of helpful feedback. Okay. Now, the same study also found that women are negatively stereotyped at work up to 7 times more than men. So ladies, we are getting it from both ends. We are getting it because we are lonely at the top, and we're also getting it because the feedback we're getting at the top is not helpful sometimes. And this causes stress. This causes burnout. So things like you're emotional, or just being disliked, or they're difficult, or my personal favorite, being a Black woman, she's too aggressive. She's an aggressive speaker. I've actually heard that recently. The truth is, the higher performing you are, unfortunately, the more scrutiny you're going to get. So maybe count it as a blessing if you find yourself being scrutinized, or that you find that there is bias, or that you are lonely at the top, or that you are struggling with your work-life balance. Maybe it means you're extremely busy. You are awesome at what you do, and you are just, people can't find anything wrong. So all they can do is say negative things. I don't know. Maybe we should just look at it as If all those things are going on, we must be doing something right. But how do you overcome these biases? How do you get it off of your chest so that you can begin to thrive in your journey towards your dream life? Well, the first thing I would suggest you do is empower yourself by educating others subtly. Now, what do I mean by this? I like the phrase, I can show you better than I can tell you. Okay, that is very empowering to me to know that I am going to outperform your expectations of me, and that alone is going to shut you up. I love that. Also, you shouldn't be afraid to make people aware of their bias and their misplaced expectations. During our last election cycle, I am a member of a chamber, or I was a member of a chamber where the majority of the people did not have the same political views that I did. And I could have really taken offense to some of the things that were going on, but instead what I decided to do was educate people on my expectations of them. When we had conversations in the political realm, I listened and I tried to understand, but I also gave voice to my concerns and my position. And it really did educate people about sort of what my stances were. And we sometimes never revisited those conversations again, but I did not allow those biases to really harm or affect me the way that they could have, given the area that I live in, the climate that I was in within those meetings. I instead did not shy away from the conversations, but I did give my voice and educate people to my expectations, what my thoughts were, and it was well received and it was respected. You can also build your own confidence and operate in it. Now, how do you build your confidence? I talk about this all the time inside my group coaching program and inside my online course, where we're talking about being introspective and really understanding what it is that makes you tick and creating that personal operating system that's going to help you move about your life in a very consistent way. It's going to help you teach people how to treat you. It's going to help you set the appropriate boundaries. It's going to help you manage expectations. All of the things. And that will help you build your confidence, because people will know how to operate in your space when they come around you, and you can give them your very best. Then the last thing you can do is just be the change that you want to see. If you want people to live up to certain standards in your presence, then you have to live those standards yourself. And that bias, whatever bias that people have around you, they can check it at the door and they'll know that that's what needs to be done, or they'll be checked by you. Now, listen, I understand that the world is changing, and as we build our businesses or as we climb our corporate ladder, we're going to run into some of these stressors. We're going to run into burnout at times. But I suggest that you, at least the 3 that I've mentioned here today, I suggest that you use my tips and tricks from my BU method to help you overcome, minimize, or just plain avoid some of these stressors and reasons for burnout in the first place. You can find harmony between your life and business. You can find companionship, support, motivation, encouragement instead of feeling lonely. And you can overcome those biases. You can teach people and educate people around them, all because you know who you are and what it is you want and how you need to navigate the world to get it. All right. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and leave a comment below and tell me what struggles are you having? What are you dealing with for burnout? And I want to find a way to help you with it inside my BU method. All right. Thanks again. And I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Bye, guys.